Hi everyone, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining me today. So I've got two canvases on my table. I don't know if you can see them. They're all prepared. I've painted the edges and I'm using Amsterdam's Pearlescent paints. So they look white, but they transform in colour against a dark background. But I'm going to take you down onto the table to see how I've prepared my canvases. I'll show you the consistencies of the paint and the paint brands themselves. But remember, expand that box, that description box, because I list lots of information in there. I don't keep anything secret. All my ratios, all my consistencies, all the brands of paint that I use, and lots more information is listed below. I'm so happy you're here with me today. Let's see what we can create. Okay, so I'm using two canvases today, so I'm doing a diptych. Each canvas measures 10 inches by 12 inches. So there's two of those there on my cups. Here are my paints. Make no mistake, I know they all look white, but it's actually this range. So I'm using the Amsterdam Pearlescent paints. As you can see, again, they look white in the tube, but they put a nice sticker on the side to show you kind of what colours it should turn out to when it reacts. So there we go, you can see there the violet and this one, the blue. So they're all mixed up. I've even had to write the name of the colour on each of my cups so I don't get mixed up. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to split them into two different colours for each one. So I'm going to do a yellow, a red and a green on one canvas, and a violet, a blue and a white on the other canvas. So that's my base colour. I'm going to do a couple of techniques on these canvases. So let's go. So the first part of this process is to get the black paint onto the base of the canvas. So I'm just pouring the paint from the cup into the middle of the canvas, and I'm going to do both at the same time. So I'm just going to do that now. And then I'm just going to spread some of that paint out across that surface area. The pearlescent paints themselves work really well with a dark background. So if you'd like to see more about the pearlescent paints, then I have created a playlist here on YouTube. Just check out my channel, go to the playlist, and you'll find lots of pearlescent creations all in one place. And I hope you'll find that really useful. Okay, so now I'm going to puddle those paints onto the canvas. And on one canvas, I've got my yellow, my red, and my green. And that's what you'll see on the left-hand side now. I'm just taking one colour at a time and placing those puddles on top of the black. And I know they look white, but believe me, they do transform in colour too. And then on the other canvas, I'm going to use the other three colours, the blue, the violet, and the white. Again, just puddling those. So that's the next part of the process. before I use my marble, I'm just going to use my torch. This is a butane torch, and I'm just popping those air bubbles. And see if you can spot some of those colours on this closer look before we use that marble. I can definitely see the yellows. Let me know if you can see some of those colours already. Have a close look just around that outer edge of each of those puddles. You'll probably see some of those colours. Okay, so as always, the fun part. I'm going to do the left-hand side first that you can see on your screen. Just drop the marble into the puddle, pick the canvas up, and then tilt the canvas from side to side. The idea here is to allow that marble to travel from one puddle of paint to the other. But as it does that, it's going to soak up some of that black paint and drag that black paint into those white puddles. I'm going to use the marble for a couple of minutes on each canvas, and when I stretch the paint out across the canvas, that's when it's going to really start to transform. So take a real close look as we go through this process, and let me know in the comments below as soon as you start seeing some of those colours. So that's the one on the left done. I am going to clean my marble off just with some tissue paper, and then drop the marble again into the right hand side that you can see. Again, just tilting the canvas from side to side, allowing that marble to travel from one puddle to another, dragging that paint across those puddles. Steady hand, lots of concentration on my face. Don't look at my face, guys, it's too serious. And then once I've done that, again, I'm just going to clean the marble off, and then we'll continue with the swipe. Okay, so you can see the pattern that the marble has created. So now for the swipe, and I'm just going to do one swipe on each canvas. The swipe itself is a cell activator on a palette knife. The cell activator is made up with black paint, so I'm using Lamp Black by Amsterdam mixed with Australian Floetrol. My ratio for this is 1:4. 1 part paint to 4 parts Australian Floetrol. Mix that together, and that's what my cell activator is. And that's what I'm putting on the base of this palette knife before I place the palette knife onto the paint that's already on the canvas and just do one smooth swipe from one side to the other. Okay, so that's done, and now it's about spreading out that paint across the full surface area. But it's not just about covering that surface area, it's also looking at the composition, the overall composition. And what I mean by that is the way the pattern forms as you stretch that paint out. What's the focal point going to be? And what's the balance between the puddles of paint that we created and the lines with the marble compared with the swipe and the lacing? So just be mindful of that when you're tilting the canvas to spread that paint out across that full surface area. Sometimes step back and have a look at that overall composition.
Okay, I'm loving this, and the colours are already starting to transform. Let me take you in now for a close look at the wet version, and there we go. You can see the blues on the left, the yellow on the right. So, just to recap, black base on both of the canvas, and then puddles of the pearlescent paint on top of that black paint. We dropped a marble into those puddles, tilted the marble to allow that marble to travel from puddle to puddle, and then swiped across the centre with a cell activator, and then tilted the paint to get this result. And I can't wait for you to see the dry version, because if you think this is vibrant, just wait until you see that dry version. I'm going to show you that shortly. But if you've enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and sharing it out if you can. I'd love to reach more people on YouTube, to grow my channel, and to introduce myself to people that might enjoy my work. So if you can do that with me, I would be really, really appreciative. So a big, big thank you in advance for doing that. So one more quick look at the wet version before we move on to the dry version. There it is. And I don't know which one's my favourite. Do we have a favourite? Do you have a favourite? If you do, drop that in the comments below. I read all the comments, and I really do try and respond to every single one that I see. So yeah, let me know. Do we prefer the red, the green, the yellow, or the violet, the blue, and the white? I think I might prefer this one, but I don't know. I love the pear. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate all of your support. So have a great week ahead. I really hope I get to see you again in the next video. And whatever you're up to creatively, I hope you're having lots of fun. And I hope you're learning lots from these videos too. Let me know what you want to see in the future. I'd love to produce videos that you're most interested in. But have a great week ahead. Guys, thank you so much for all of your support. I really do mean that. And I'll see you soon. Be well and take care. Bye.